everyone, I'm Tara Jones from Pieceful Solutions. Today we're going to talk about a topic that's pretty big. And by big, I mean it's pretty important to most people that I meet in this industry or the people that I coach or instruct, whether it be with riding instruction or general horsemanship and just people in everyday life. And we're going to talk about removing your safety net. And this is a scary thought for some people. I get many riders that have had horrible accidents, terrible falls, broken bones, bad memories, and they still find that drive to want to continue riding horses or learning about horses. So what I wanted to talk about are some of the things that you can put into practice in general to help you to become better at removing your safety net. One of the main things that horses have taught me is to remain positive and basically to activate that positivity within myself each and every day. Let's face it, you attract who you are. So if you're going into a situation and you're negative about that situation, you're going to create negativity. Think about it. How many times do you meet somebody and they're negative? Immediately you go to all of these feelings of negativity or things that have happened to you that are negative. So if you're constantly surrounding yourself by that, you're going to start living in that. I always say activate your positive aura. So what you have surrounding you is basically what you're teaching, what you're emulating, what you're giving off as a signal. Horses have really taught me this in a major way, and they can read body language so well. They can feel your nerves, they can feel your anxiety, they can feel that depression or even that you're coming to the barn that day and haven't had a great day in the rest of the factors of your life, so it passes on to them. And what I've tried to do for many years is really to walk into the barn with a smile on my face and a positive attitude, because it really does carry over into the horsemanship and into the safety and the practices that we do around our horses. Having a vision definitely helps as well, and having a vision that you can act on. Goal setting is great, and doing things, beyond what we think are possible for ourselves is fantastic. But I always suggest to my students, have your baby steps in place to get to that higher goal. Visualize what you'd like to see happen. Visualization is so powerful. And if you become really good at it and you can see the final chapter of the thing that you're trying to get to, it's very important when you're on your journey or on your road to get to that end result. If you're a person that starts something and then 2 minutes later you kind of say to yourself, well, that didn't work, think of another way to get there. There's always going to be detours. You're going to get sidetracked. Things aren't going to go according to plan. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have fearful moments. And what we're talking about today is removing that safety net, taking that cautionary tape away, getting yourself to step outside your boundaries and to start exploring other options. So important when we're dealing with any type of goal setting or orienting situations around equines or something that we're trying to get to, especially if you're going to be competing. It's super important that you have all of those visualization parts of how you're going to get there in your brain so that you can act upon it. You can truly see it and you can see it occurring. Chances are that you've practiced things so many times, the repetition is already there in your mind's eye. So if you think about how you'd like it to be, you can make it happen. One of the other really important aspects is you need to always be able to raise your standards. Now, what I mean by this is you need to put yourself in a peak state, your highest state. If you go out into your riding session, or you go to learn from your instructor, or you go to try to compete, and you're in a state of not really challenging yourself, you're going to come back disappointed, because you're not going to put yourself in that state of raising your own highest standards. You're only really competing against yourself most times. But we find people that are role models, somebody that we can follow, a mentor, another person that has found their way to raise their standards, and we challenge ourselves. And that's truly what you want to think about when you're working with your horses or when you're even riding. You always want to set your standards one tier higher so you have something to chase, something to get better with. If you're always working within your little peak and valley, then you're never going to get to a higher level because you're always just going to plateau out. So again, your safety net in those areas are what people don't excel after. And I always kind of say to people, hey, at this point in time, we need to remove the safety net. The things that scare you and your fears, it's not a goal for 2 years from now. This can be a goal for next week, next month, next year, depending on how big or small that goal is. Let's strive to get there quicker. Take those steps necessary to get there. Raise your standards, challenge yourself, remove that safety net. And a hunger is what drives us to become better. The hunger is that deep desire to still want to go after that goal. Think about it. How many of you are super successful in your regular careers? I can tell you that my main students that ride with me once a week, twice a week, kill it in the industry, just in their careers. They are strong, powerful individuals that really do so well in their everyday job. So I always try to tell those same women, bring that drive, that hunger, that desire, the need for you to be the best at your career into the barn. Get yourself motivated to find that inner hunger, that inner desire, that standard that you always live by in your job, and pass it over into your work on the horse. Use that, utilize it. You already know how to do it. Chances are that there's something in your life that you're very driven to do. There's something in your life that you're very powerful about, and by powerful I mean really activated when that moment comes around and that time period comes around where you have to go into action for that certain thing that you are so motivated to change. And that's really what you need to bring into the barn to help remove that safety net. One of the other things that's also really important is better the common version of yourself. Now, people always say better yourself. Well, that's easy to do if you lower your standards of yourself. You know, I often see people say, well, you know what, today I got this accomplished, and they actually lowered their standards so that they felt better about accomplishing something. You want to better your common version of yourself. Common meaning I'm not saying negatively, I'm still saying stay positive, but the common part of you, the things that you can do every day on a daily basis. You know, you come to the barn, you groom your horse, you take them out, you do some groundwork, you do some in-hand work, you saddle them up, you mount the same way, you walk off, but there is no challenge that's common to you to be able to practice that. And while you're practicing all of those things, and that's great to have the repetition, because the repetition feeds the drive, but at the same time, you need to better your common self. Have a little bit of another goal. Set your standard higher. Better yourself. And that's what we're talking about when we're saying become a better version of your common self. If you don't have belief in yourself, then nobody else is going to believe in you either. Sometimes, have any of you ever heard of the common saying, fake it till you make it, or, you know, show them what you're made of? A lot of times we don't have the end result in mind. Sometimes we just have to believe in our achievements and what our ability is at the moment so hard that we believe that we can achieve it, that we believe that the end result is going to be there. I've done it many times in my career. Believe me when I say I never thought that I would be in a position where I would be coaching people, or I would be challenging myself to reach the highest level in my career. I never thought that this was going to be my end result, that I would become a horse trainer, but I truly do love it. To deal with horses every day that teach me something. That hunger to succeed from them, the deep desire to have a relationship, to have a partnership, to be able to communicate. You know, when I meet people in all walks of life, when I do these clinics, or when I meet somebody in a lesson, or somebody walks up to me at an expo and, you know, they're looking at me with almost tearful eyes as they say, you know, I just want a better relationship with my horse. I just want a better partnership. I want to be able to communicate. And isn't that one of the most important factors that we all go through? And again, sometimes I think we worry about safety so much. And believe me, I am the first person that's going to preach safety, because you have to be safe. You just have to be. You have to be safe. The horse has to be safe. Your practices have to be safe. And that is your background. That's something that never should leave. You should always be safe in your practices and what you do. But at the same time, removing your safety net is what helps us to become more challenging within our own minds, more challenging within our own action, to rise above, to make our standards higher, to believe in our achievements, that we can get to the next level. That's what's really going to feed the hunger, to help with the motivation, to help with the desire to succeed. And that's going to in turn create that positive aura, that feeling that people want to be around you all the time. Horses want to be around you. People in general want to be around you. You'll find that people just suck to you like a magnet, because that's what they want to be as well. They want to emulate that feeling. They want to feel that power of positivity. And that is truly what removing your safety net is about. We all want to feel significant in life. And basically being able to promote your own growth. That is one of the keys to your success, to be able to feel as though you can achieve things. When you think about all of these little factors that go into removing your safety net, and to just think about breaking down that fear, because fear becomes a cycle, and the cycle starts to just turn, and the cycle keeps going, and before you know it, that snowball starts to turn into an avalanche. And when that avalanche starts rolling, it's very hard to get out of that negative feeling. I've seen it happen many times with my students, with horses in general, with myself. And one of the things to stop that ball from rolling is to remember all of the steps that I provided earlier, that you really are always activating your own positive aura. You want to surround yourself with positivity. You want to let it seep out of your soul. That positivity is part of the hardest game in horsemanship and in life in general. It's so easy to become negative, and we can't get caught in that trap. Believe me, I've got bad days just like you do. I probably have more bad days than good days, but I've learned not to stay in that bad part for long periods of time. I've learned to scratch and claw my way out of those little holes that I fall into. And I tell my students too, when you come to the barn, the second that you leave your car, you leave all your baggage in the car. You don't come to the barn telling me about your bad day. You don't come to the barn and keep that shoulder pack full of rocks and everything else that you're lugging along every day. You don't bring that into the barn. You don't bring that into the rest of the cycle of what you're trying to accomplish. When we tote all that baggage around every day, it just keeps building. So one of the things that I've said is truly to always try to better that part of you. Always try to leave your baggage at the door. Start trying to come into that cycle where you're just clean slating all the time. It's part of my job with the horses. I have horses that come in here with so much baggage, and the first thing that everybody wants to tell me is the entire history of the horse. And I always say to them, listen, the horse's history is somewhat of a mystery to me. They are going to tell me the story, regardless of what you have to say or what is happening in this whole cycle. The horse will slowly release the story to me through their body language, through the way they act, through how they warm up to me, how they can let things go. And believe me, horses are so forgiving. And I think that's what's taught me so much about removing that safety net in my practice, is just being able to trust within the training that I give, trust within the training that I teach, trust within the training of myself. And that is what it is about, to remove that safety net. Not removing safety in general, but just removing that safety net to be able to get to bigger, better, and bolder places. We all want to be significant. We all want to be where we're in a position that we grow. And you can't grow unless you raise your standards, unless you challenge yourself. I hope this positive talk has helped some of you. I hope it sheds light on maybe something that you're going through right now with your riding and your training system. And I hope that it brings a little bit of positivity into your world and helps you to rethink all of the moments that you come to the barn with negative thoughts, replace them with positive. You can get to the final chapter. You just have to visualize it. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little positive talk on removing your safety net. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for supporting my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you click on the little bell to be notified of any of my future uploads, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.